So, what benefits, changes, hopes did you have going into this? Like, what were you hoping was going to happen?
Um, so when I started, I really was hoping to, it was kind of two things. Like it was really to try and increase my productivity. That's definitely what I wanted. And kind of for the sake of the video, it was going to be like for the sake of the experiment, I was going to treat my ADHD, or use it to treat what I figured was like ADHD symptoms. And then after that, I was going to try and go on like a normal prescription medicine like Dexies or something and compare the two. Um, but I fell in love with the acid microdose so much that it's like I almost don't want to stop. It's just kind of starting me to push me in the right direction, and I'm just doing some research right now to find out whether or not it's something I can stop right now and still get the maximum benefit, or if I should keep going. But I'm just going to keep going for now until I'm sure that I'll be kind of able to integrate these changes, at least long term. Um, but yeah, I did it to treat my productivity, but it definitely ended up becoming something else about halfway or a third way
Yeah,
yeah,
which is
through.
the next question. And then, where you started and then where you're at. What did you actually see happen? You know,
Right.
so yeah, what happened? And then I was going to say specifically in the end, what did you want to do with your day? Because I think in just one of your videos you touched on that. There's a difference in what kind of the desires for what the day would look like.
Right. So what happened, how it changed, basically it was so it really didn't work how I expected it to work. I was what would you say? I was really hoping that it would just be like my mushroom microdose in that it was going to be a smooth improvement and I wouldn't have to go through much. But my mushroom microdose hadn't really improved me permanently. It didn't really have many long-term effects after I stopped using it for about a month. Whereas I have a feeling the acid one will be different because the first week was absolute hell. Like the first week was just so the opposite of what I was expecting. I took it to increase my productivity, and the first week I was ultra unproductive, really agitated. I wanted it to kind of alleviate some stress, and instead I was really way more stressed, almost not aggressive, but like I had some anger coming up for sure, especially when I was hungry. And yeah, I had a whole bunch of stuff coming up, especially in my relationship, and it was a very challenging week. But looking back now, I can definitely say that what it was doing, I think, is it like almost recognized, okay, you want to be more productive. I'll help with that, but you've got a whole bunch of stuff that you've been suppressing and repressing for a long time. And one of the reasons why you're not as productive as you want to be is because you're not really willing to be present. You're not really willing to focus for too long. Because when like I start having these thoughts about stuff that makes me stressed, I just try to escape. So I couldn't keep escaping. I couldn't keep procrastinating. I wanted to be more productive. Suddenly, all this stuff came up, and I had to deal with it, and it was very challenging. But it was dealt with for the most part, which led to a more productive week. And then that kind of had its own challenges because my stress wasn't alleviated. And eventually, I think I realized at some point the acid was kind of trying to pull me in a different direction from being productive. Kind of made me realize that I didn't actually want to be more productive. I just wanted to be less stressed and a little bit more content, which I thought productivity would give me. And it's the same message I got on macrodoses with acid. It ended up bringing me to the same place, and I guess I just hadn't integrated it enough. And so yeah, I ended up just focusing more on my happiness, my attitude, and in turn, obviously, as you wouldn't be surprised, it increased my productivity because I just wasn't needing to escape and I wasn't so stressed.
So you mentioned a little bit about relationships. Like, do you want to share like what did it kind of bring up, or did you feel that were coming up in like changes that you could make in regards to interpersonal relationships with others?
Definitely. Okay, so how I dealt with, no, I would say it was pretty much everyone. It was both my relationship, it was even my relationship to things that weren't people, like my work and stuff like that. It helped me become more connected with my more honest feelings. It was like my thoughts were getting out of the way, and If you wanted to simplify it, it was almost like I had my ego was overthinking things. The acid microdose helped it just quiet down. And that way I was able to get more in touch with, you could say, intuition or just my honest thoughts. And so in my relationship, when something would happen, something had been happening for a long time and I just wasn't happy with it, but I kept kind of lying to myself and just, talking myself saying I was okay with it, but then I'd still feel stressed whenever it came up again. I don't really want to get into it too much, but basically, when I started the microdose, it was just clear as day. I couldn't ignore it anymore. I wasn't okay with it, and that became a big thing for that week. I had to talk about it. I had different friends pulling me in different directions. I had to be more assertive. So yeah, that was a big thing. It increased my assertiveness for sure.
Hit me up in the comments below about what you're thinking. I read those, respond to those, so I have an idea of what you want to know about microdosing and psychedelics in general. You can find TripWhip on Instagram, TikTok, and he has a great YouTube channel with amazing content. So go check that out now. Subscribe to him and my channel so you can get the best information on using psychedelics deeply and safely.